Hi, and welcome to Ocean Yemi's channel. So today we're gonna cover the empaths today. So there are many empaths. There are many empaths. Some people say they are empaths for the sake of saying empaths. Sometimes empaths word is thrown around. Sometimes people are actually empaths, literally are empaths, and because it's all types of different abilities. There's seers, there's ESP, there's the ones that can read your auras from distance. There's the dreamers that have visions and it comes true. They have deja vu a lot. There's a variety of abilities, and everybody all encapsulate these things. People and some natural healers as well, which I will cover. There's quite a lot. There's people who are empaths. Sometimes they feel the slightest thing that other people is feeling, right? They feel the slightest thing. Sometimes it feels like a lot to them. It does feel like a lot, and they feel like it impacts on them a great deal in their life, and then they have to work through it. So some people don't always know that they are empaths. Some people know that they are empaths, but there are ways to protect yourself as an empath too. There are ways to know that you're an empath because, like I said, not everybody's an empath. Some people do. Some people, however, do acquire empathic abilities along the way. Okay, so what is an empath? An empath is someone who feels more empathy than the average person. These people are usually more accurate in recognizing emotions by looking at another person's face. They also more likely to recognize emotions earlier than other people and rate their emotions as being more intense. So, what are the signs of an empath? You have a lot of empathy, closeness, and intimacy can overwhelm you. You have good intuition. You have comfort in nature. You don't do well in crowded places. You have a hard time not caring, and people pretend to tell you their problems. Oh, tend to tell you their problems. So I'm gonna show some videos as well because, as you know, my little one always comes and interrupts. So to make this easier, I'm gonna project a video right now. I'm gonna go find a video and project it so that what I have said, so you can hear from another source. Because, like, I could be talking faff, you know what I mean. But it's always nice to have a backing of another person who says the exact same thing or similar thing to you, because there is dark sides to empaths as well. So there's empathic dark sides too, which I didn't know till yesterday. So I'm going to show a video, and then hopefully, or I'll just put this up, and then people can comment underneath it. However, if people come through in it, because I know notifications are playing up, etc., etc. So the way to help people who is in this predicament, who has these abilities, um, like the signs and stuff like that. See, I've given you briefness of the signs, but let's get an in-depth from another source, somebody else saying it who might break it down a little more differently, and then I'll come back and break it down.
Empaths are beings who intuit non-local information. Their ability to detect information and take on these energies make them extremely vulnerable to the up and down emotions of those around them. Special care must be given in their life for them to thrive. As such, they need information and protection when it comes to interacting in the day-to-day world where most of its inhabitants, about 80% of the population, do not have this ability. In addition to being highly sensitive and intuitive, other common empath traits include extreme tiredness, a need for downtime and being alone, being introverted, about 80% of empaths are introverts, living in a clean, clutter-free environment, a reduced exposure to news and other potentially negative programming, sensitivity to foods, and a healthy amount of grounding for proper daily centering. As an empath, I have learned through trial and error what works best for me, as you will do the same. This requires a personal confidence and power to live a very unique life that will not be understood by most, but known intimately by a few. Although it may feel as a curse sometimes, our walk is a blessed one, filled with many peaks, valleys, and important breadcrumbs in between to lead us down a world of self-discovery, wonder, and fulfillment. If you're curious to learn about the life purpose of an empath, tune into the next video where we'll discuss. Thank you.
Yes, mindfulness, yes. Journaling, yes. Again, see, journaling comes up again. So I'm going to show another video. Hold up. Hold up a minute. I keep saying that. Hold on.
Hi there, I am Heather.
So this lady talks about empaths who have anxiety, which happens a lot to a lot of empathic people. And I think she does give solutions. So let's see what she's going to say. Hold on, let me tap the screen.
I'm an anxiety coach and an imposter syndrome educator. And in this video, I want to help you understand what an empath is so you can know if you are one or not. And then if you are empathic, I want to help you understand how your empathic abilities really affect your anxiety. So first thing, what is an empath? You can think of an empath as a really highly sensitive person. An empath really absorbs the energy and emotions of everyone, and even the places that they are in. They just sort of absorb all of that stuff. It's almost like they're an energetic and emotional sponge. So empaths really pick up other people's emotions. This can be a difficult emotion or even a positive one, and they just sort of take it on as if like it's their own. They feel it as if it is their own. Sometimes it's really hard for the empath to distinguish that the way they're feeling didn't come from themselves, but that instead they picked it up from somebody else. So they just kind of like, you can think of it as like a bag that they're carrying around of emotional stuff, but it's not their own. Empaths often feel everything to the extreme. So if they're out somewhere and it's a really heightened kind of environment, right? Like there's really a lot of noise where they are, or let's say they're around somebody who has like a really big personality in these hectic environments, they really pick that up. They're extremely sensitive to the environments and the places that they're in and the people that they are around. So if this perhaps sounds like you and you're thinking, yeah, I do think that I am an empath, you may be wondering how being empathic affects your anxiety. So what I have discovered from people that I have worked with, again, oftentimes they don't realize that they are an empath. Once they realize that, they're starting to become aware that when you are overstimulated, right, that overstimulation that happens so frequently with empaths in their heightened state because they're overstimulated, that means their nervous system is overstimulated. And when you have an overstimulated nervous system, what can result is anxiety. Also, that emotional sponge thing. If you're an empath and you're an emotional sponge, that means you're absorbing the stress and the negativity, the anxiety from others. So it's like, again, you're picking up somebody else's anxiety. It may not even be your own, but then you start to feel anxious because that other person felt anxious. And then all of a sudden you're anxious and you don't even realize that you became anxious for a reason that's not your own reason. Because empaths really feel things intensely, they're really affected by media, particularly the news. Oftentimes, the news is not good news, right? Like mainstream media is just like bad thing after bad thing after bad thing that is happening. So, aside from the news, an empath may also be even affected by a movie. So, like a really scary movie, horror movies in particular, those can really overwhelm an empath. So, it's the psychological well being is really affected. And so, again, that leads to anxiety. When an empath is around too many people and has absorbed so much of what other people felt, those feelings often don't fade away or go away once the empath leaves the person, leaves the party, leaves work. They go home and they're still affected by everything that they have absorbed. So it's like they can't even get a break because they go home and they still don't feel well. And so then they're in that anxious state because they are never feeling like they're able to just kind of calm down and have their nervous system calm down. So this is what's super interesting is that other people are often unknowingly drawn to an empath because that empath isn't able to set clear, like emotional or energetic boundaries. And so other people, they do this unconsciously. They'll sort of like dump their stuff off, their emotional baggage off onto the empath because it feels good for them to unload it. And so then the empath, it just sort of takes it on as if their own. And so then that other person like walks off feeling great because they're not bothered anymore, but then the empath feels terrible. So because of these social interactions that I described, empaths often isolate themselves from other people really as a way to cope because that just feels better to not be around people and not pick up their stuff, not be in the hectic environment, not be around the big personalities. So they just sort of isolate themselves from other people. And then they wind up feeling really alone and unsupported. And so then they are feeling unsupported. And then they start to feel anxious themselves because they don't feel like they have a productive or healthy outlet because they're really isolated. So many of the concepts that I just have detailed came from a woman named Judith Orloff. She has done extensive research around empaths. She is one herself, and it was her trying to understand her own abilities that really led her to try to help herself and research empaths and other people. And so she's become an expert. She's written books and has courses. So she does offer a free training for empaths. I'm going to put that link.
Right. So the next thing I'm going to put up is how can like recharging strategies for empathic people as well. So that can help others to help them to recharge. Like because sometimes I think empathic people get strained and they go through a lot of things. Like so, refreshing your spirit and revitalizing your energy with these 8 simple recharging strategies for highly sensitive people. Let me see what I could find. Oh, one is a salt bath. So just get a couple handfuls of plain salt dissolved in a warm bath and Just put it in the bath and sit in the soak for 30 minutes. The next recharging strategy: eat and drink green stuff. Greens, anything that's green, because it's healthy for the heart chakra as well. Work with crystals. Spend time in nature, which is what I said before. Spend time alone. Laugh until you cry. Be around fresh flowers. Breathe in deeply. So do mindfulness. A lot of mindfulness you have to do as well. Oops. Okay, let me see. I could, because I wasn't gonna do it when the little one was up. And clear another clear strategy, which she also said, is to set boundaries. Boundaries is very important. Make always let your boundaries be clear, very clear, to the point, because the more clearer your boundaries, the less it will impact on you. So you wear various colors also can also help. Um, Being able to talk to people that is a little bit like you, who are also empaths. So, walking in nature, hugging trees, all that, you need to do this. This is to recharge you. Drink a lot of water, always hydrated as well. Journaling. Like I said, mindfulness is a very important thing as well, because you can simultaneously be mindful. You could be mindful. You could do breath work and you can be standing up. You can do breath work and be sitting in lotus position, whatever praying position. Yoga definitely is good as well, because it's a sense of breath. Fire breaths also helps. Um, Laughing with children, like they said, laughing, playing with children, laughing, do what you love. That's another thing. Well, because when you are isolated, you have to find stuff that you like to do, so it don't impact you. Also, around the digital world too, that can also impact you. So if you on the digital world less, even more helpful. So I hope that I hope that I've covered a little bit of the empathic things, what it is, how to deal with it. If anything, there will be an open panel pertaining to this, because I know loads of people do have empathic senses, etc. So this conversation can continue. However, so with that said, I am going to come off, because I said I was going to complete this video today, and this is one of the ones that I really wanted to complete. And I know it looks like I've rushed, but it's not a rush really. But um, there is strategies within this, like, and also because it's linked to anxiety, because a lot of people have anxiety, you know. Uh, um, so so now we have a link to this anxiety. So you probably have the empathic abilities as well. You are able to feel everybody's emotions. You can step into a place, you feel the emotions. So with that said, yeah, I'm gonna come off now. Please like and subscribe. Please comment on the subject that is covered. Also, there is a cash app as well. I like to keep it brief and keep it moving. And yeah, I've also added the new intro that is there, as you see. So thank you for listening. If you are listening or not, or please like, yeah. All right. I'll see you.